Good morning. I'm going to start soon. I'm just trying to share this link on Twitter, and Twitter is a Twitter is rubbish. Once I get this link shared, then we can start. But it's just not working. I don't know what's going on. The guy pays billions in dollars for Twitter, and Twitter doesn't work. It's like broken. I found the bug on Twitter. So I'm just going to try and figure this out, and then we'll start. Apologies, guys. I'm having problems. Good morning. I know I'm on mute. Shushant, Sebastian, Saul, welcome. But I'm having problems because I can't share my tweet. I can't share my tweet. How am I going to spread the word? Twitter is such a piece of shit. I don't know what to do. I'm going to show you what the problem is and tell me what you think. Hold on. It's so annoying. Let me just do this and I'll show you what I mean. The guy spends billions of dollars on Twitter and it doesn't even work. It's so broken. What a waste of money. Let me just figure this out. Hold on. Please work. No, it's not working. How do I fix this? Look, I'm trying to share my tweet, right? And I'm trying to put the link underneath it, and then it doesn't do a preview card when I do the link. Look at this. Where's the preview card? There should be a preview. Oh, there it is. Yes. Yes, yes. Okay, good. We're gonna start soon. Let me just share this. Right, I'll change it back to the other screen. So annoying. Right, we'll start soon. Let me just post this tweet. BTC. Let's do it. Almost there. Give me a second. Just posted it. Perfect. Sorry about that. I've got a tweet. Otherwise, how do people find me? Okay, take your time. All right, cheers. All right, I'm ready. I've got my other Dtravel hat on. I've got two hats. So I'm wearing my other hat. Just tell David as well that I'm streaming because he wanted to join. Streaming. Okay. Let's have a look at this. We'll start with Bitcoin as always. Let me have a look at the EXO charts first, actually. I haven't looked at it all weekend. I just haven't looked at EXO charts, so I don't really know what's going on. Okay, we had some, when the price dropped, we had liquidation bubbles. That's nice. It went up. Liquidation, liquidation, liquidation. Liquidation, 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 liquidation. No liquidation on that second swing failure. Look at that. That's interesting. No liquidation down here. What is this? It's like longs, huh? It's kind of half and half, but look at that increase in OI. Price pushes up. You see that wick on the candle? It was sold and then someone longed into that. That's a buying tail on that candle. That's a leverage long. Shorts closing, shorts closing, shorts closing. Longs entering. Longs closing. Longs entering. Shorts closing. This is shorts entering here. Not better, not much. A bit of closing on both sides. A bit of longing, still longing. I think the longing is increasing. Okay, so we have a little bit of longing here on leverage, which is quite interesting. That's what I wanted to see. Are people starting to long? And it does look like there's a little bit of longing here. There's also a little bit of bullish divergence. Okay, so you can see the CVD. The line is lower. This is a lower low on the CVD. Okay, and you can see how the price is slightly higher. You see from this lines up with this low here. So that's a slightly higher price. This is a slightly lower CVD. So we have a little bit of bullish divergence here, which means that the market sales are being absorbed by limit longs. Limit longs don't appear on this data. This is just market orders. Exo chart only shows market orders, and so the only way to see if you have a bigger limits absorbing the price is with the CVD divergence. And right now I'm seeing some bullish CVD divergences. Not crazy, but it's enough to take note. So there's definitely no short. I wouldn't short this just because of what I'm seeing, and also just looking at the way the orders are coming in, I can see some longs are coming in. Okay, that's quite interesting. You want to kind of see what other people are doing, and it gives you confidence to do the same thing. If we were seeing a lot of shorting going on here, then you'd be thinking to yourself, damn, the whole market is shorting. I've got to be careful. But actually what I'm starting to see now is there's some longing happening here. Okay, so that kind of, look at this, see, increase in OI, increase in price, and you've got some order imbalances. See these black squares, which means that the orders weren't filled, and it created small gaps because there weren't any sell orders as the price ascended. So you have these gaps that are formed because there aren't any limit sells. That's why the price slips up. This big one here, look, it created, look at when it went up, you can see it created a 1.4 million gap. So when the price actually came back, what happens is those imbalances, they will offer support as the price comes back. So when you see imbalances like that, like here, you see this one, look at all these imbalances. And so as the price comes back down, it finds a little bit of support because it's trying to now fill those prices. Okay, and actually when I'm looking at it, it did offer support. These two green bars all the way down to here, the price held almost right up to there. That's interesting. Okay, that's going to influence our bias because we can see now that there's some bullish divergences on the local time frame. All right, I'll keep that chart open. Let me get rid of that. I took a trade yesterday. I took a short, which I got stopped out, which I was doing on the stream. And then I took another short yesterday, and I took a short yesterday. I didn't post it because it was really late, but basically I shorted the daily open, which was that top of that green candle. It was here, and it just went down, and I just took profit as it went down. And then I'm out of that trade because that was it. Let me have a look. What do we have? Okay. All right, look at that. Interesting, huh? So that was from yesterday. Where's my range pool? I probably deleted it. Let me do it again. Where's my volume? There it is. And then let me do my volume. Somewhere here. See if the volume's changed at all. Okay, the point of control has moved up slightly. Because the price is above it, that's okay. And you can see how the price went up yesterday. So there was two things the price could have done yesterday. As always, it can go up or down. And I tried to short, but actually the trade to be had was a long. That's fine. It was actually a long from down here. You see, that was the trade to be had, really. Longing here was possible also. And basically what happened was, as the price closed back above the point of control, you can see there was a little back test, and it went all the way up to the high volume node that I marked off. And then I took that short. I didn't have it planned, but I knew it was a good area to short, but I was just waiting for the end of the day. And so as the day closed, you see how the price went all the way back down to the point of control, and I took profit at the point of control. So even though I didn't have a planned trade, these levels are really important. You can see I was kind of looking at these levels and seeing how the price would move, and look, it's kind of done what I've imagined, which is really good to see. Gives me confidence that I'm not mad. And obviously you're looking at two situations. Yeah, I'm not worried that this one didn't work, because I was contemplating an up move and I was contemplating a down move. Like, if this was the up move, which kind of followed my idea, and the down move didn't happen because it was actually bullish, it wasn't bearish yesterday. Okay, and if it was bearish, then this is what would have happened. Okay, potentially. It's just two ideas that I had, and one of them came to pass, and I traded one of them, because even though I didn't have a short planned up there, I did take the short yesterday, but because it wasn't planned, I didn't post it, because I don't want people thinking that yeah, anyway. So let's just get rid of all of that now. Delete all this shit. All right, and then we've got our range pool. Let's just make sure that the nodes are correct. So the point of control has moved up a little bit. It's interesting to see. The high volume node has potentially moved down a little bit. The value area low has moved up. The value area high has moved down. So we have a slightly smaller range, only slightly. A slight adjustment in these nodes. I'm going to put a node up there as well. That's a high volume node up there too. So it's good to have these nodes in position. Okay. And I can get rid of that. Good morning, Dan. Good morning. Oh my God, it's a lot of people here today. Damn. Welcome. Well, if you have questions, you know, just feel free to write them down. I'm keeping an eye on the chat. And for Dan and Craig, if you guys came late, I just went over exo charts, and I just explained that the recap is, so you don't have to go back and watch it, is that we're seeing a little bit of bullish divergence right now. The CVD is slightly lower, the price is slightly higher. Okay, and we are seeing longs open in this current range, this local range that's been formed over the last few hours. There are longs that are opening, so that's quite interesting to see. All right, the other thing that I was paying attention to, which is always good to keep an eye on, is the funding rate. And when I'm looking at the funding rate now, it's neutral. Okay, the funding rate is neutral. I'm going to show you, I'm going to show everyone what I'm talking about, and it's good to keep an eye on the funding rate. If no one's familiar with this, if you are, then this is going to be boring for you, but for anyone who isn't, this is the funding rate. So this is the amount of interest that is paid by people leveraging every 8 hours, and this is the one that I'm focused on, the Bybit one, although not all the exchanges are neutral. Okay, so anything above 0.01%, you see that it's in black, that is neutral, so there's no bias. So a neutral funding rate, it still favors shorts because longs still have to pay 0.01% every 8 hours, and shorts are still getting paid. So if you're in a short right now on Bybit, you're still getting paid every 8 hours. You're getting paid 0.01% for having your short open. Okay, but that's a neutral funding. You see on BitMEX it's neutral, and then here you can see on Binance it's slightly bearish, very slightly. So I wouldn't necessarily consider that in the context of what we were seeing last week. OKX is slightly more bearish, but effectively you could argue that the funding rate is almost reset. And in the context of this Bitcoin bull market, you could almost argue that that's actually quite bullish because the funding rate has been flushed, the liquidity has been flushed. Okay, I think that's something interesting. So going back to the charts, and the context is really important. We're seeing bullish divergences. We have a neutral funding rate. We've broken out from this trend line. We're above the point of control. There's something else that I wanted to put into context, and I just want everyone to kind of pay attention to the daily candle and the weekly candle. So let's have a look at those. So on Sunday, I said that this bearish candle wasn't very bearish. Why? Because it only just closed underneath the PD low. I've seen this so many times where the next day it just reverses, and so you end up with some kind of reversal pattern, which is what's potentially forming here. Yesterday's candle was bullish, and the reason why it was bullish is because we were able to close quite strong, and it closed above 50% of the previous candle body. Do you see this body? We closed above 50%. That's a bullish close. Okay, this whole thing is a bullish reversal, and today we've come back down potentially to backtest this wick over here, or the 50% mark of the previous day. So we're having a bullish reaction on yesterday's candle at the moment. Okay, so you can see how the price has gone down. We've backtested this level, which happens to also be roughly the 50% of yesterday's body, and we're having a little bit of a bullish reaction. Okay, the other thing to bear in mind, and I mentioned this in yesterday's stream, is that we had increasing volume, and then yesterday we had decreasing volume. You see that? Decreasing volume. So you have it's a low volume drop, which is potentially it's bullish too. So we have a lot of bullish signals right now that we're seeing on the charts. The other thing that I'm seeing is that we formed a weekly candle, quite high volume. Okay, potentially a reversal candle. So never think that that's a bullish candle. That's actually a very bearish candle. In context of the highs, it's a very bearish candle. That being said, it's nicely held this previous week high. You see that? It's gone all the way down. It's like a back test. And effectively what I would say is that this is our range now. This whole weekly doji is our price range. That's what I would say. And I'm just going to mark it off now. Okay. I'll put swing failure on both ends of the tail. Okay. I would say that's your range now. That's your price range. So as long as the price now stays within these two lines, I think we're just ranging. Yeah. That's what I think. I think we can just go up and down. And we're neither going to be bullish or bearish. We're going to be range bound. But as long as we hold the range, I would suggest that we're bullish, because it would be bullish consolidation underneath resistance. That is bullish price action. Okay. So as long as we consolidate here underneath resistance, what is the resistance? Well, at the moment, the resistance is the all-time high. And potentially you could argue that the resistance is the previous all-time high. But I think the problem is that we're still range bound. So even if we get bullish as we come back above there and go up, doesn't necessarily mean the price isn't going to come right back down. So which is the resistance at the moment? Well, there are levels of resistance. I think a really important level is obviously the previous bull market all-time high, but then obviously you have the current all-time high. That will act as resistance. You can't ignore it. And what you can see now in this current range is that we have two new levels of liquidity. We have this daily level at the top. We have this daily level at the bottom. These are liquidity levels. And let me see the weekly. And there you go. We also have a weekly level which lines up almost perfectly with the previous bull market all-time high. We'll mark that off as well. Okay. It's kind of where we're at now as far as the price. So as long as we're here, everything is sideways. And maybe that's good for alts. You know, we're all kind of alt fanatics. We want alts to pump. This is kind of what we want for altcoins. Does that give context on where we are and what's happening? So let me just add in my, let me put all of these into higher time frame levels. This one I want to bring up. Is that right? Okay, that's fine. Oh, actually, those SFPs are wrong. Why did I put those there? So there. Okay, that's fine. Previous all-time high. Move that up. SFP, and where's the volume? Let me have a look at that quickly. Range, that's it. Okay, that's it. Let me zoom in a little bit now and let's have a look at the local time frame. Remember there's two pivots here. I only really pay attention to the inverse perpetuals, Sebastian. He was referring to the funding rate. I only really pay attention to that one. Obviously this one, obviously you can see it's slightly bearish, but I think in the context of what we were seeing last week, which was 0.1%, you could argue that this is actually relatively speaking neutral. Okay, that's all I'm just thinking about context, not 100% neutral, because as you can see, Bing is slightly higher, CoinX, whatever, but the ones that I'm paying attention to are the Bybit one and then this Binance one as well. Okay, that's where the big volume is. Maybe OKX as well. So it's slightly bearish. Yeah, you're absolutely right, but I don't know if we're ever going to get all the exchanges on 100% neutral at this price at 68,000. Maybe if we went down, we would. But look, we're at we're basically at the previous bull market all-time high, and we're seeing neutral, slightly bearish funding rate, whereas in the previous bull market it was crazy bearish. All right, so let me just quickly have a look at this. Dan is saying love to see ETH BTC. Love. No, we want to see ETH BTC to go up. So market structure. We have some things going on with market structure. Okay. On the daily time frame, we're still bullish. Which is the pivot to beat to change market structure? Probably this one here, huh? This pivot. So we're still bullish on daily. Everything on the higher time frame, medium time frame is bullish. Okay, let me just have a look at this. Look, we've got higher highs. Higher lows. Yeah, we still need to get above these wicks up here. I think that's gonna be really bullish. And it kind of looks like we're doing a little bit of an inverse head and shoulders pattern here. So potentially that previous bull market all-time high is a little bit of a neckline. And if that breaks, we're probably heading to the all-time high again. Probably. Okay, that's kind of what I'm seeing at the moment. And then what's interesting is even though in the like the 4-hour chart, we're kind of into a little bit of a bearish market structure. On the daily chart, we're still bullish. When you zoom right back down to these lower time frames, the really low time frames, we're back into bullish market structure. So if you see on the 15-minute time frame, we were making lower lows, and now we're making higher lows. Oh, shit. We're making lower highs, and now we're making high highs. See that? See how the market structures on the 15-minute time frame is bullish again? When did it become bullish? Well, here really, actually. You see here, the 15-minute time frame, lower low, higher high, higher high, higher low. You started to make higher highs, higher lows. So we're back into bullish market structure on the really low time frame, and that goes up to the 30-minute. Yeah, potentially the hour, but not the 4 hour. Not the 4 hour. So you've still got like the 4 hour. You just have to get back above there. So we're turning with that's quite good to see that the local market structure has turned, and we just have to now turn the medium time frame market structure back into bullish, and we're back into bullish market structure. So I'm thinking bullish, thinking we go up. I wouldn't mind longing the bottom here, but that may never come. Right, what is this one? Get that trend line again. Let me try something else. Hold on. That high volume node is the point of control. There's a previous range here. Let me mark that off as well. No, I'm going to rename that to range. The other thing I want to check is on XO charts. I just want to check one other thing. Usually David does this for me, but he's not done it. Oh God, what did I just do? There. I'm just going to have a look and see if we have any single prints or anything. We have some buying tails, selling tails. Nope. Okay, that's fine. What else do I want to see? I just want to see. Okay, so we have a naked. So what a naked point of control is, it's a naked daily point of control. It means it's the point of control of yesterday, and when it prints, then it's called naked, and it's called naked because it hasn't been traded through yet. So because yesterday's point of control was at about 66,400, today the price hasn't traded through, so is a naked point of control there. So you can mark that off, like for traders. That's really important place, because if the price comes down into that level, the price will react, and it can be used as an area of confluence for taking entries. So I'm going to mark that down, 66,300. A lot of lines. I have it here somewhere. Okay, and then let me see if there's anything else. There's one above us up there, 73,400. That's right at the top there, where the value area high is. You can also do that on the weekly time frame as well. When it touches, when the price comes through it, you see it's no longer extends. So then you know that it's been cleared. And as you can see how the price comes all the way down into this naked daily point of control, and there's always going to be a reaction. There's always a reaction on these previous volume levels which are not traded through, and so it's good to know where they are. And then you have the daily time frame, you also have the weekly time frame. So as you can see, we have the weekly has a naked as well. See that? That's a naked weekly point of control, and you can mark that off as well if you're interested. That's at 71990, so the price will react there as well. So it was 71990. Okay, so that's at the high volume node. That's quite interesting. I can't see anymore. There's ones lower down, way lower down. And then the monthly hasn't ended yet. Otherwise, you can also do the monthly as well. And so that's the current point of control, but the monthly is much lower down. See that? 51,800 or whatever. All right, so that's that. Did I not mark them, David? Oh, you've got an SP. 7-8. Where did you find that SP? Yeah, I'm on 0 template. I don't know. Using the 30-minute. Let's try that. Okay, that might be better. 70825. That's been traded through, no? Oh no, it hasn't. It's held. See that? Yeah. Interesting. How it hasn't even touched it. It was front run. That's interesting. Okay. Let me mark those as well. Seven 70825. Seven 1275. Naked points of control. Oh, that's really low, isn't it? I'm not gonna bother with those. They're quite low. All right. So we potentially have all of the areas of interest. Wait, let me see. 73450. That isn't that low. How did you see that one? Did you see that? Naked. Using the 30-minute chart. No, just leave it. I think that's fine, David. And the other thing you can do if you're interested is look at the session TPO to see if there's any more interesting levels. Change that. What's the other one? It's the order flow. It's the TPO. Oh yeah, that's the one. What's that down here? This buying tail. There you go. You've got a London. You have a London point of control here. Session point of control 65600. Anything above us? Oh, you have one up there as well. Okay. Can mark those as well. 65600. Template for that. Yeah. And one up there as well, which is the Asia session 73700. Okay. Sorry, there's a little bit of work, but that's what it is. You have to put in, you have to get all of your liquidity levels in, and then we can see where the price could react. So that's basically everything, right? That's where your liquidity is. So clearly there's a ton of liquidity at the high there. Do you see that? Look, if we get to the all-time high, how much resistance is there? You have a daily level, you have the higher local range value area high, you have this naked daily point of control, you have the value area high of this whole range, you have a naked session point of control, and obviously you've got the all-time high. You have a lot of resistance there. Okay, your next level of resistance is here with this high volume node, and it has there's a naked weekly point of control, so there will be a reaction there. You have these single prints, which is like a gap. It's like a volume gap. As the price descended, it created, you see how the price descended here, it created a gap. So basically there was no volume, it was zero. That's why they're called single prints. It wasn't zero, it's probably like, it's less than 10. It's like single digits. And so there's it's obviously, look, it's acted as resistance. You see how the price has come up, it fell, created a gap, and as the price came up, the gap was basically front run. So people were looking to short the gap, which is what happened there. Okay, so it will act as a resistance, as an area, but because it coincides with the local range value area high, there may be a little bit of resistance there. And then we've got the previous bull market all-time high. That's a psychological resistance. It's not a liquidity level, it's just a psychological level. Okay, but then we do have a weekly level which corresponds with that level, so there is actually a liquidity level there. It's the weekly level. Okay, so that's kind of what's happening with the price right now. We're kind of going in and out of this daily level now. Why have I got another line there? Oh, it's a high volume node. Okay, and with the point of control is lower down, then these are our lower liquidity levels as well. So I think the price is, it looks like it's bullish. I can kind of see a little bit of a little consolidation range here. Potentially it's bullish. There is a trade to be had right now, just because we have an invalidation, and you'd have to have a slightly wider invalidation, but basically it's that, and it's all the way up, potentially all the way up to there. Fill the gap, react off the high volume node at the other side of the gap. The problem is that we are at the moment into this daily level, which is also a high volume node. You see that? The price is still finding resistance of this high volume node. So you kind of want it to go up and then take the back test. That's kind of what you want. Or you want the price to, potentially you want it to do this, and then you can have a much smaller invalidation and hope you don't get stopped out. But really the invalidation is one of these pivots here. Because once the price does get above that volume node, you don't really want it to go back down. That wouldn't be nice. I think this is the pivot to beat actually. Let me see. This one. Because that would change market structure again on the local time frame. At the moment, after you put that pivot in, you made a higher high there. See? High, 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 high. Probably that one. So there is a wide invalidation here, and that's a 1-to-1 trade at the moment with that current invalidation. So what we'd be looking to do is thinking about how to reduce the invalidation, which will increase the risk to reward, because we have an idea to go long, and now we just want to reduce our invalidation. That's what we want to do. Okay, this is a bit too wide. It doesn't make the trade worthwhile. It's a bit too wide. If the price came lower now, then it would be potentially it'd be more worthwhile, because you have a smaller invalidation, you've got a higher reward. See, if it came down to the point of control one more time and took the trade and it went up, then you're only looking at a risk 1 and a reward of 4 on that trade. Yeah. But right now, at where it is, with this current invalidation, you're risking 1 and you're getting 2. So it's still okay. Still acceptable, but I prefer I prefer more. And potentially you could get more if the price went up. And it's quite weird to think of it like that, but because we're into this daily level, into this high volume node, all we need to do is just flip it into support. That's all we need to do. All we need to do is just get above it, back test, and then your invalidation changes completely. It becomes like that. Because then you're not looking, once you get back above that level, you're not really looking to go down. But the problem is we do have this psychological bull market all-time high here, and we do have a weekly level which actually hasn't been touched yet. So even if we go up, you could just get a swing failure rejection off these highs. So we could range here a little bit longer. Potentially we could be ranging here a little bit longer. It's possible. All right, this is something to bear in mind. Let me have a look at the fibs. Okay, the golden pocket comes in front of this. I mean, there is a lot of resistance on the way up. So, you know, let's not pretend that there's no resistance. So there's no straight path up. It's going to be like, we're going to be laddering up. If we do go up, potentially. It's kind of what you want to do if you're trying to get up to those highs. I think that's there's so many places to short this range. I think they're all pretty good. And they're all scalps, effectively. But you have shorts everywhere. You have one there. You have one up there. Potentially. Even the golden pocket. But I think once you get above the previous bull market all-time high, you're long. Because you're flipping a weekly level into support. I think that would be a much safer long. Get back above there, then you can just long. You have a really easy invalidation as well, because you have a weekly level there too. And it's the 50% of the fib that I've just pulled. Yeah. So there's quite a, and then you have a little bit of a gap. You see that? There's a little bit of a gap from that level to the golden pocket, which might not even hold as resistance, because then you're starting to see volume. So this might be just a little bit, potentially actually what you really want to do to long is just reclaim that. They have really easy invalidation. And then potentially it's all the way up to there. Fill the SPs, go up into that 786 high volume node and then short that. And then the top part is a wide range. It'd be quite bullish if we get up there, but then there's quite a lot of reactive liquidity levels at those highs. You see, it's quite a large range. So any one of these levels could hold the price, and then you could just fall right back down. Yeah. So potentially you'll be looking at something like this, assuming we can reclaim this previous all-time high. I think that's quite important because it's a psychological level. I don't know how this is going to behave. There. Work your way up. Down. Try and get up all the way up there. And then reject. Potentially. Or you reject anywhere lower. Like it doesn't have to go all the way up there. Any one of these lower levels the price could reject. I don't see much confluence with the golden pocket, which is this 618 to 66. This area. So I don't necessarily think it's going to hold as resistance. Whereas higher up, I see quite a lot of confluence there and up there. But I think probably the best short is going to be this one here, because you have quite a lot of things going on at the same place. Right at the same place. Right. That's if the price goes up. If the price starts to go down, then you have a pretty easy short and long if there's a reaction at this. You have to lose the point of control. That's the problem. So potentially if we go down one more time, you could just long the point of control, but you are coming back into this weekly level and this daily level. So it could range here a little bit. So actually there's two potential longs here. It could just be the point of control. It could be another long before the New York session. It could go down to go up. Something like that. I don't think I want to see this pivot taken, to be honest with you. I think that's a nice pivot. And you have quite a nice, look at this. It's really nice. And when you look at the way the prices come back down, it's come into the golden pocket. See, so actually it's not a bad place to long, but you just have to have a wider invalidation. And it is possible to take a very small long, and then if you reclaim that previous all-time high, you could add, so you're not starting with a really bad position, you're starting with a good position. It's possible to do that too. But here probably that would be your real nice long if we go down, and you'd have to take profit. See, you got a point of control, and that's really the problem. That point, the minute you lose the point of control, price could easily react, but it could easily fall right back down. That's the problem. So potentially a small invalidation, but you'd have to take your profit at the point of control just in case the price continued down like that. That would be the trouble with that. But it might not do that, because if it went up to the point of control, you also swing failure patterning these lows. So you could also get a situation where why did I do that? Where it comes like just back there to go and start working its way up. So actually maybe that's not a bad long if we go down. You'd have to see a reaction into the golden pocket. And then you don't want to see, once you get back to the point of control, if you don't take crazy profit, you just don't want to lose this 28236, because once you reclaim it, it kind of lines up with these lows here. You don't want to really you don't want to, once you come back above this pivot, once you've lost it, you don't want to come back underneath it. You don't want to go up, go above it, and then come back down. This pivot has to hold if we come back up like that. Right, these are my ideas. I don't know if that was helpful. Let's see what happens. I'm going to set some alerts now, because I will take these trades if I like the reaction, and I'm going to do it. Yeah. This one here, maybe actually this one. Let me just do this one. I might put this one as well, because I might be thinking to long the point of control too. We'll see if there's a reaction. I might take the long. That one. I think could potentially long there if we get across. Got it. So nice. And then you have your shorts higher up, and it's going to be a hard short because you won't have a swing failure, so you have to just short the reaction and hope you don't get stopped out with a local swing failure. So it's good to write down what you want to see, because you're like, you look at your phone and you'll see an alert and you're like, I don't know what that is. So just put something that you need to do, and then up here the same thing. Okay. And this is just two ideas. Anything can happen. Just two ideas on up and down if it starts to go bullish or bearish. I think if we go down, we're still going up, because I'm still feeling bullish. Because why? Because I think we're at the bottom of the range, you know, this range that I talked about. So let me just hide all of this. God, I need to sort this out. What are these lanes? I should have done this before. It's annoying. What did I do? What's that one? Okay, let me just put all of this into group. Okay, that helps. Put that in there as well. SFP, SFP. Where are those single prints? Just give me a second. Just chuck them all in, actually. Okay, that's better. Oh, good morning, War. Right, let's just quickly have a look at that. That's the trades for today or whenever. That is potentially a swing failure here as well. Okay, I'll take a screenshot and then I'll post it to anyone who wants it. David, I'll post it to David. Any questions, anyone? There's quite a lot of people here. Everyone's quiet. Apart from Warchild, who just says sup. David, who just said smiley face. Any questions, anyone? Otherwise, I'm going to move on. Okay, no questions. Should we make a Discord? Discord or a Telegram? I don't know. We've got a Telegram group, a little Telegram group. FAS. What does that mean? All right. Let's have a look at ETH BTC, because I think it was Sebastian was saying that it's falling. Was it Sebastian? No, Dan. Oh, sugar, it is falling. Okay, so with ETH BTC, I still have this idea in mind. Let's see if it plays out. I'm not going to take this because I don't have any BTC apart from my trading account. But just if anyone's interested, you could long that potentially. But this is what I was thinking about this. Okay, so I'm thinking about a diamond pattern forming here, and you could potentially take out that pivot and just start going up. Okay, it's really messy. I apologize if I was to redraw it. Should I just clean it up a little bit so it's less messy? I think you get the idea. Let me just get rid of these, make it a little bit cleaner. And what I was saying is sometimes these diamond patterns, if they can form something else, they don't. I'll explain again. Let me just delete these lines and I'll show you what I mean. Okay. Oops. Okay. Almost got rid of that. That's fine. Put that back in. So I don't know if you can see the diamond, but basically a diamond is where the price comes in from the top or from the bottom. It forms this kind of widening shape. It forms the height at the middle, and then it starts descending, lower highs, higher lows. If you get that, you might think, well, you're making a low because you're taking this pivot. It's possible, but this is the one to beat, really. So actually maybe not, I don't know. It's not easy, but potentially it doesn't matter as long as we make higher lows, we don't beat this last one. But what can happen is you can get a situation where the diamond fails. Okay, so just because there's a diamond in formation doesn't mean it's going to succeed, and success would be a breakout. That's success, like a real breakout, and you just reverse the trend. A failure would be to break out and probably swing failure these highs and just fall right back down, and then you're potentially forming a bearish flag. So you go from a diamond to a bearish flag, and then it becomes quite bearish. Yeah, then if you fail a diamond, a bullish diamond, which is like this, then potentially you're going to get a breakout to the downside because you've just formed a flag and it just really falls. This is something to bear in mind. Now, I don't think this is, I'm actually thinking the diamond is going to hold. I don't know if many people can see the diamond, that's the thing, because it's not very obvious. I don't know if it's that obvious. Shit, delete it again. Would you say that that's an obvious diamond? Let me just get rid of it. I don't know. Potentially you'll make a higher low here. Actually, we might not even take this pivot, which is what I'm interested in. Taking the pivot would be the entry, an easy entry. But if you just make a higher low here, then the confirmation for a higher low would be to get back above this pivot here. Okay, so if you don't actually take this pivot lower down, and you just come down to make a higher low, then how do you know you've made a higher low? Because you're back above this pivot. Once you get back above that pivot, then you could think to yourself, okay, maybe we're making a higher low now. That would be an entry, because if it is continuing to go down, it wouldn't really get back above that pivot. It would go up and it would find resistance to continue. Yeah, so getting back above that pivot wouldn't be correct if the price was continuing to go down. Okay, so this is a question. We can keep an eye on this. Ali is saying not really. Ali, why aren't you snowboarding or something? Hold on, I got the phone call. Ali can't see it. Well, he doesn't have enough experience, I guess. Never mind. So let's just get rid of that quickly. Let's just move on. Let me just have a look at this range. That's it. Let me just have a look and see if the range has changed. Value area low is slightly higher. Lower. Value area low is slightly higher. Nothing really. Value, the local point of control is slightly lower. Not much difference. I think that's a good sign actually, because potentially this is going to find support and then it's going to go up, and then altcoins can start pumping. So that's all I really care about. Nope, I don't think this is going to go down today. Yeah, this is looking similar to Bitcoin. Total market cap, these are all looking very similar to Bitcoin. That's nice. USD doesn't look strong, it looks weak. It's almost the opposite of Bitcoin, but it's not looking strong right now. Very similar, huh? It's almost the opposite of Bitcoin right now, the USDT. Well, Pax Gold is looking really weak. We're still at the bottom of this range, but it's not looking strong at all. While USDTD put in a green doji, this is put in a red doji. Yeah. So it's actually a little bit, Pax Gold is a little bit weaker than USDT right now. All right. So if everyone just wants to continue, I'm going to go on to travel and then TRVL and then any other coins. If anyone is interested, I can have a look. I mean, I did say that I think TRVL is doing very similar price action to Bitcoin in my yesterday stream. And when you look at the candles, I'll bring Bitcoin to the side just to compare. You can have a look and tell me what you think. Let's get rid of this. Stop. Okay, so that's the weekly time frame on Bitcoin, and that's the weekly time frame on TRVL. Okay, see that? So we're both we're both experiencing weekly red dojis in the highs. When TRVL, it's the high of this range, which is at 9 cents. On Bitcoin, it's the all-time high. So there's something very similar going on between Bitcoin and TRVL. And as long as Bitcoin just ranges and then potentially goes up, I think TRVL is going to do exactly the same thing. Potentially we could range and then go up. I'm kind of seeing the same thing. I'm not really seeing any difference at the moment. If you look at the way the candles are forming, potentially TRVL is slightly more bullish, because here right now I can see that there's a green weekly candle in the current week, and here Bitcoin is still red. Okay, and TRVL had a much smaller body on the doji. So the other thing that I wanted to show you on TRVL is something that I posted on my Twitter yesterday, and I thought this was quite interesting. So if you pull a GAN line, and I've got my GAN here, use the 3-day chart, there it is. So if you pull a GAN fan, it could be in the 3-day or it could be in the daily. If you pull it from I'm on the MEXC chart because that has the all-time high at the pivot right there at the start. So you put it from the all-time high all the way down to the low of the end of December 22. Okay, yeah. It will pull these lines, and you can see that this first one, there was a reaction on it here until the price came above it, and then it used it as support before it sprang out. It went all the way up to the 2-1 before it resisted. It came down and it resisted again, and then when you zoom in, we broke it back in November, and then we found support on the top side of the GAN line, this one, which is the 2-1. We've spent a few months trying to get back up to the next line, and what's interesting is this explosion in January. It went all the way up potentially to the top of that line, to the underside of that line, and now look what's happened. Okay, we've actually broken up above the line, and this next line is the 3-1. Okay, can everyone see that? That's quite interesting. And what else is interesting is that if you take a fib pool from this relief rally pivot that was put in February 23 to the all-time low, you have this golden pocket. Golden pocket is an area between the 618 and the 66 or the 65, it doesn't really matter, where the price usually resists if it comes back in a pullback. And so you can see that the price did resist. You see that? That was a resistance. This is resistance. And what's happened now is you can see how on this 3-day candle we had resistance. You see, that's resistance. Again, that's resistance. But what's happened is we've broken through this golden pocket. We've broken through this GAN line, this 3-1. And now we're coming to back test the golden pocket here and this GAN line. Okay, so we are now actually in a really, really good position. I think you could see what I'm seeing. It looks to me that this is a really strong position to be in. Like, I think maybe people don't understand how good this looks. And the way that these lines have been reacting on the higher time frame, and also this golden pocket, how important it was to clear it. Now that we're back testing these support lines, as long as the price holds. Now, you know, I don't know if the price is going to take 1 week to hold before it continues, or whether it's going to take a few weeks and the price could just kind of fall, gradually bleed before it continues. Yeah, but as long as the price holds, then you're basically on this kind of these unusual support lines. Usually I like horizontal ones, and I prefer SR flips and higher time frame fib levels. So the higher time frame fib levels, if you were to pull them, you will see, not that one, it's probably that one. You will see what's happening is that we came into the 382, which is a higher time frame resistance level, and also the 9 cents mark, which is the launch price. So that you could argue is a little bit of a range between 9 cents and the 382. There's a little bit of a range there, which is resisting, but we're also on support, and the support that we're on, even though it's not a higher time frame fib, I always like the higher time frame fib levels. So in my mind, 5.5 cents is a really strong level, but to get to 5.5 cents, we have to basically go back underneath this scan line, back underneath this golden pocket. It wouldn't necessarily be great. Okay, we might, if that was to happen, you could get, and you were to do that again, that would be amazing strength. That would be weakness followed by strength if that was to happen. Okay, and I'm not saying it's going to happen, because I don't think it will, because as long as we're holding support, why am I thinking that we're going to go down? And at the moment, this is the 3-day chart, which closes today in about 12 hours time. This is finding support. You can see it's finding support, and we don't even know how this candle is going to close. So the longer this holds as a support, the more likely it is that we just continue. Yeah, and I think the breakout above 9 cents is going to be quite explosive. I think it's going to be very explosive. It's going to look very explosive too, because you're effectively, what you're creating now potentially is some kind of, again, we're doing this quite a lot, is some kind of flat top triangle idea. Yeah, and what tends to happen is as the price ascends, it gets steeper. And so I've drawn this in a previous stream, probably in January, because I was looking at some previous streams. I'm kind of seeing a kind of rounding bottom where the price starts to accelerate like that. That's what I'm kind of imagining. Yeah, I don't know when it's going to happen, but that's kind of what I'm seeing, how the steepness is getting more steep. And so I don't necessarily think this is going to be a prolonged correction. I don't think so. And then the other thing that I had in mind, which I was explaining to people, was I have this this major fib time that I have in mind. Now, this is the fib time. So it's all the way from the beginning to this pivot. Let me just adjust it to make sure it's correct, because I've got it on the weekly time frame. Let me just move it now to the 3-day time frame. Yeah, so on the 3-day time frame, it's not as nice as the weekly time frame. Yeah, the weekly time frame, it looks really good. So let me just go to the weekly time frame. The problem with the weekly time frame is then you have a week period where the pivot could act. Yeah. So you have this pivot at the all-time low, and we are in that week now. Okay. What does that mean? Fib time on its own, you can't trade it. You can't trade fib time on its own. On its own, it means nothing. Yeah. Fib time only works as confluence. And the confluence depends on where the price is with respect to support and resistance. Okay. So if you're into resistance, then the fib time can tell you that that is a major pivot. And if you're in support, it could mean that that's a major pivot. Okay. And the problem is that we're into both. It's a real problem. Okay. But in my mind, I was thinking, wouldn't it be nice if by this week we were trading at 30 cents and we hit fib time to put in a major pivot at the highs? But I don't think Bitcoin is going down, and I see that we're going up with Bitcoin. So if we were now putting a pivot in the highs, potentially that means we're going down, and it doesn't actually make sense because we're still low. We're still under 9 cents. It doesn't make sense to me. So potentially we're putting another pivot in the lows right now. Potentially, that's what I'm thinking now. I don't know. I'm just like, I know that with fib time, it's a pivot in highs and the lows. And I think that idea comes when I consider these GANs. This GAN and this back test of this golden pocket. So if we weren't on support, I would be thinking, okay, we're not on support, we're into resistance. And even though we're into resistance, look, we've just cleared some major higher time frame resistance levels and we're flipping them into support. So we are in support. We're in higher time frame support. The higher time frame support is this 3-1 GAN, and the higher time frame support is the back test of this golden pocket, which is the golden pocket from this pivot put in February 23 to the all-time low. So from there to there, that's the golden pocket. And we're on the other side and we're back testing it. So potentially you could argue that there's a major pivot now being put in to the lows. But we're not in the lows, we're in the highs. And potentially that could mean that after this pivot, we could be going up like that. Okay. I'm just speculating. This is all speculative. I don't know. Okay. It's very unusual for us to be in the middle of nowhere when you're putting in a major pivot. Okay. But it would make sense because even though we're into resistance, we're actually over support as well. Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, can the price go down now and do this? That's what that would suggest. If that was a major pivot in the highs, that's what's going to happen next. This is a question, and that would require BTC to fall back a lot. Yeah. And that's what's going to be required for BTC. It required Bitcoin to pull back for this to happen. I think now that I'm seeing that the price is following Bitcoin, as long as Bitcoin is ranging in its current range, I don't see this happening. This is basically going to require Bitcoin to at least go back to 50,000 and maybe lower from this week onwards. I just don't know. I don't think it's going to happen. Okay. I just don't think it's going to happen. If it starts to happen, we'll have to revisit this, and it's not going to look good because then you have put a major pivot in at the highs on fib time. Okay, and then the problem is that right now you're trading at 8 cents. Before you know it, let's say suddenly next week we're down here, you're trading back at 5 cents. It's such a big drop in value that it would suck. Yeah, because if you are putting a major pivot in the highs, you really want to sell it. I think possibly it's showing us support rather than resistance, the major support. So we'll have to gauge this and see. Okay, any questions on that? Of course, this is quite speculative, but you can see the GAN line and you can see the reverse side of that golden pocket, and you can see that we're on support right now. And also what I showed you is that we're following Bitcoin. Okay, so I mean, I guess, you know, are people selling? I don't know. I don't think it's there. I don't see crazy volume. I see like descending prices, descending volume. I'm not seeing crazy selling at the moment, and I'm not seeing crazy buying either. There's a little bit more buying here on gate. You see there's a little bit of buying coming in here, and oh, you see that? Look at this little drawing that I did a few days ago. How interesting was that? Right into the value area low, and then it just bounced out of it. It's quite interesting. Amazing. We were there and I said we just go down and just come out of it. That's quite interesting. Let me just update the volume profile. Point of control is still in the highs. We're in a high volume node on KuCoin. Declining volume on the way down. I'm not seeing crazy volume on the way up at the moment. Okay, so it's just an observation. There was a big sell yesterday on Bybit, 159,000, and the price is just kind of slowly working its way back up. Okay, I think that's TRVL. I think the chart to bear in mind is this one, these GAN lines. Okay, and I'm looking forward to the last point of support. I'm looking forward to getting up there, getting above that pivot, and I'm looking forward to getting back above 17 cents. Okay, I think it's going to be really, for a lot of people, it's going to be a lot of relief. And when we get back above there, because I think it'll be very unlikely that people start selling and the people will just start buying and buying and buying, because look, I've got this going to $5 and we're still low. We're still at 8 cents, right? This context is really important. Any questions on that? This is a really nice 12-hour reversal pattern on TRVL, just in case anyone was interested. I'll show you on Bybit. Look at this beautiful reversal pattern. Okay, this is the pivot. We've basically, it's a failed auction of this pivot, and you've reversed the volume. You've come down, you've back tested this candle, and now you're working your way back up. So we have a really nice 12-hour reversal pattern on TRVL right now. I wonder if that corresponds to Bitcoin. It's looking more bullish than Bitcoin, to be honest. It's looking a little bit more bullish than Bitcoin. Okay, that's TRVL. I hope that helps people decide what they're going to do. hopefully buy more. Let me have a look at this this trade for today. Okay, yeah, so maybe the New York session, maybe that's when we're going to see a little bit of a move today, later on this afternoon. All right, that's that. Does anyone want me to have a look at anything? Otherwise I'll probably end the stream quite early. I did a really good analysis on VIDT. I don't know if anyone's interested. I did it yesterday. I've cut it into a video. Let me have a look at it again. Don't remember what I was saying now. Okay. Yeah, I said I'd like to buy it here. That's what I said. I'd like to see a pullback, and I'd like to see, I don't know where all my data's gone because I did a lot of drawings and stuff. It's vanished. Is it on that one? Fuck. I've lost everything. Maybe that's not. Maybe it's on this one. Okay, yeah, there it is. Okay. Yes. Okay, so we're here actually. Yeah. That's right. There's remember now. So there's a support level at 4.3 cents. Okay. Anyway, it was quite an interesting analysis. So I don't know if anyone's interested. I thought that was quite interesting. Craig is asking NMKR if you have time. I saw the VIDT video. It was up 20. Was it up 20% yesterday? Oh my God. Really? After I did it, it pumped, huh? What the hell? I should start buying these tokens before I create videos because they can make some money. I feel like I'm making videos and I'm not making enough money. That's crazy. All right, NM. Shall I go and buy some NMKR quickly before I make a video? Have you spelled that right? NMKR? Don't tell me there's no chart. That sucks. They're not on any exchanges, huh? I hate it when they're not on any exchanges.
In this video, I'm going to show you how to create an NFT project using NMaker Studio. The first step.
Wow. That's weird. I clicked on buy and it takes me to a video. Let's learn more. Okay, have a look here. Oh, it's a nicely small market cap. Who doesn't like small market caps? It's on BitTrue. Where's the volume though? The volume is this LCX exchange. In euros. That's weird. The volume is in euros. Oh no, so that's dollars. Oh, it's USDC and ADA. So it must be an ADA coin. Okay. What else can you buy it? They don't even have it on like PancakeSwap. So you can't really buy it. It's really annoying. They expect people to chart on this. This is madness. Like literally madness. What can I say? I can tell you right now what this is. This is just accumulation. The token has been launched when May 23, and we're just accumulating. This potentially could explode one day, yeah? Potentially. This is a good place to buy because it's just, you're basically at the bottom of this long range. This could consolidate for months. Just here. Accumulate. Bam. Explode. It could totally do that, you know. That's my first thoughts on this. It hasn't really gone down, hasn't gone up. This candle, green candle with a wick on top, is a buy. So someone has market bought that. Let me see if there's volume on this chart. Yeah, you see that? There's a buy there, there's a buy there, there's a buy there. There's a bit of buying here, not much selling. So this, what we're experiencing now on this token is an accumulation range, basically. And this could go on for a long time. Buy. That's a buy. These are all buys. And then look, you see that sell? The price has gone up. Why is the price sold? Why is someone sold? Well, because whoever bought down here, you see these candles up to there, they're up 244x percent, so 2.4x, and they've just sold, and now it's back at the lows. It's a really good place to buy. Effectively, now is a good place to buy because you're back into the lows of this overall range. Doesn't mean that someone can't sell and make another all-time low. That doesn't mean it can't happen. Probably because there's not much liquidity. But if someone is bullish on this project, this is a good place to accumulate. I'll just see if there's anything else I can do here with this shitty. That doesn't even work. So I don't understand it. I don't understand these exchanges. They don't. Whoever's doing these developments, they don't know how to code or something. Let me see if I can do it here. That's better. It's the one I want. Doesn't really matter this volume because you can see the volume is at the lows. You're probably at the point of control now. You can see where the volumes come in. Look, it's all here. So we're basically back at the average, and that was, yeah. There's nothing really more to say, Craig. I'll just add a couple of indicators to see if I see anything interesting. Change it to 20. God, I hate this charting. Lost my MACD. Oh, it's loading. It's like not working, is it? It's working. My only comment with this project is, as you can see, it's a literal nightmare. Yeah, LCX, NMaker, USDC. It's literally a nightmare. No one can chart. I wouldn't even have confidence in buying because the charts aren't working properly. So my only comment is that these guys need to sort this out, get it on a decent exchange. Okay. And I don't like these trust scores, you know, like all of that's all dodgy. These trust scores are low. This LCX exchange is some dodgy exchange. Don't know why they've done that. That's my only concern. Okay. A leading NFT infrastructure provider on the Cardano blockchain. As the largest NFT infrastructure provider on the Cardano blockchain, NMaker has already minted over 2 million NFTs. Wow. Formerly NFT Maker IO was founded. What happened to it then? It's the same one. Oh, they rebranded. Don't understand that. They've been around long enough. Why didn't they just get on some decent exchanges? Like, why? It's a bit weird, huh? All right, that's it. There's nothing more to say. Oh, there you go. What's this? How about Dex Center? They're basically tokenizing everything, huh? Everything will be tokenized. Wow. In the future, you're gonna have like a world, like an Earth, and every object will be tokenized, and we'll be on this imaginary Earth. Maybe in the future, when the sun doesn't exist anymore, you'll have an exact replica of our planet. It'll be like the Matrix, and this will be the beginning of it because everything will be tokenized. Shushan's taking a short. Wow. Really? Nine 59300. I don't know. I don't know. Don't think so. Look. Oh, that's interesting. So we've gone from bullish divergences to bearish divergences. Slightly. See how the CVD is going up and the highs are lower? OI is dropping. Shorts are closing. Shorts are closing. The price isn't going up. No, that's longs closing. Longs closing, longs closing. Wait, why is the CVD going up? Short entering, short entering, short closing. That's a short closing now. That's a short opening now. If we make a high here, then that's invalidated the bearish CVD. It has to make a high. Ah, invalidated. There you go. Just no. Did it? Oh no, it didn't. It didn't invalidate. Interesting. It's still bearish. You have a lot of imbalances there, and you see this is a big short that just closed. So look, the OI dropped 1.4 million, so you have a short closing right here. But you have a little bit of bearish CVD forming right now, just right now. Okay, so you can clearly see it. It's amazing how the price can go from bullish to bearish very quickly. But look, you see how the CVD is going really high, and the price isn't following. The price is still flat. Yeah, so you're getting a little bit of absorption here. What does that mean? I mean, potentially it's what I was thinking earlier. Potentially, rather than just go up, maybe we'll go down first. Yeah, and test these lows to see what happens potentially. But if you want to go up, really you need to reclaim this level, Shushan. This is the level of interest. It's the previous bull market all-time high, and it also corresponds with the charts aren't working with this weekly level. So potentially you're right, potentially there's a short to be had up here. Bit higher up. Right there. And I think the entry for a short is a swing failure. I really wouldn't think about taking it unless I got a swing failure. Maybe like that. So I'm going to add that too. Okay. Otherwise, I wouldn't bother short or long here. Yeah. You're only really looking to short or long in areas where the price can reverse. Yeah. You're not looking to short or long in the middle of a little range because your invalidation is too much. You kind of want the price to go down, swing failure, some lows, come back up into a golden pocket, or you want to see a real sign of strength. That would be this, getting above the previous bull market all-time high, flipping it into support. That'll be a real sign of strength. Okay, and then obviously then you'll be looking to short much higher up. But in the current price action, the only short that I would contemplate is what I just drew now, and it's a swing failure of this high, and I would only take the swing failure as I see a rejection into the previous bull market all-time high, which is also a weekly level. All right, so that's the only short that I would take right now. I wouldn't take another short. I'd wait. And you're asking me a question, am I in a long trade? Well, I've explained before, the way that I trade is slightly different. So I have a different idea about trading. I'll have my BTC spot position for the duration of the bull market. And so for the duration of the bull market, I'm long. And that's a good strategy, to just be long for the duration of the bull market. But I'll use inverse perpetuals to increase my Bitcoin value by trading. Does that make sense? And so there's different ways of doing it. Some people will have very low liquidation points. And so if your value is in BTC, I'll show you what I mean. If your value is in BTC, okay, and you put it on an inverse perpetual account on Bybit, so you're using BTC to leverage, and you're using your BTC as collateral, basically. As you take long positions, you'll have a liquidation point, yeah? And it will tell you, depending on the leverage that you use, the safest way to do it is to use cross leverage. So, but then you're putting your whole portfolio into risk if you do that. When I say safest, I mean safest because of the low liquidation point. Yeah. So if you have a cross margin account, you can long now, and then it will give you a liquidation point. It'll be probably quite low, somewhere down here. And then the more you buy Bitcoin, the higher your liquidation point comes, and you can manage that. You can see, depending on your leverage size, your position size that you have open, your liquidation, you can manage that. And so you can say, well, for this, I'm not expecting Bitcoin to come under one of these major pivots because we've made an all-time high. Yeah, this is your high or low now. Okay, we've made an all-time high. That's your high or low. Yeah, so our bullish structure is this: higher high, higher low, higher high. Okay, so we're in a higher high. So the next, if we do pull back, if we do start going down, you're expecting this pivot here to hold as a higher low, and you're expecting to put another higher low in somewhere there. Yeah, because that's your higher low. You're not expecting a lower low after you've put in an all-time high. That would be very unusual. I think the probability of that happening are minuscule, like almost impossible. Nothing's impossible. And also in the context of a bull market, you're not expecting a big pullback, like 30% max, 30% max. So what people will do is that they will leverage, and they'll bring their liquidation. If you were to leverage and put your liquidation under 15,000, I think you'll be like 99.9999999% safe. Okay, most people will do that. So you have a lot of stop orders here, but what it means is people can use their full account to buy and sell Bitcoin. Okay, and usually what happens, I'm just telling you what usually happens. Usually what happens is that they'll split their leverage account into two. They'll have one for shorting and one for longing. And what they'll try and do is they'll try and preserve the value of their Bitcoin in USD by shorting. And then as the price declines, they'll try and accumulate more Bitcoin by longing. Okay, that's what usually happens. And so I have a small amount. I don't have a crazy amount of Bitcoin. Most of my value is in TRVL because I just think it's better. But I do trade on Bitcoin, and what I'll do is I'll have a Bitcoin account, and I'm just basically just trying to increase the Bitcoin value for the duration of the bull market. Yeah. So permanently long Bitcoin, but at key levels I'll short, and I'll try and increase the value of my Bitcoin account each time by at least 1%. Okay. So the trades that I'm planning, which I'm showing you, if I bring them up again, I will risk 1% of my account in each trade. And as soon as the price moves in the direction of my idea, as soon as I get to 1%, I will take most of my profit. So, and then if the runner runs, I'll take it another 1%. And if it continues, every time it goes up 1%, I'll take profit. That's what I'm doing. Okay. And I'm not really fussed about whether it goes to the moon or not. All I care about is accruing 1% in each trade. Okay. And taking profit as quickly as possible. As far as the overall bias, I'm long. I'm long Bitcoin, and I'm long crypto. I think we're pre-halving. You should be long. Yeah. You only short to try and preserve your USD value. The time to short was up there at 73,000 when I was telling everyone this is a good place to sell. When I had my little sell box, that was the place to short, and that was the place to hedge. Actually, it was a hedge. So what people would have done is they would have hedged, and then the price declined, they could take profit. Or what they do is, rather than take profit, they'll leave their hedge and they'll just try and long Bitcoin and accumulate Bitcoin in the lows. Okay. They'll try and catch the lows and leverage Bitcoin in the lows. They'll still keep their hedge. I'm not doing it that way. I'm doing it slightly different. But I mean, everyone has their own technique. Okay. So you are a whale in TRVL. A whale, huh? Yeah. That's funny. I just think it's a good project. I don't know. I like it. I like the people. I like the project. I like the new tokenomics. I like the night protocol. I like everything really right now. I like the price action. I'm looking to buy more, but it really depends, because obviously the higher it goes, the more bullish everyone else will become. But I don't like just buying pumps. I like to buy pullbacks. I haven't really seen crazy pullbacks, to be honest with you. When you're looking at TRVL, I'm not seeing crazy pullbacks. Potentially that was the crazy pullback, this one. So actually all of this I was buying all of this. I was just buying non-stop. Every red candle I was buying. Yeah. Because I saw the big pullback. I didn't sell into that pump, but I was buying all of that. I think what I would be thinking of is a big pullback. I would buy more. Yeah. I do want to see increasing volume though. Let's have a look. Mm. 184. I want to see more volume. I think we'll get it as we go higher, but I don't know. Can't tell. STC, I don't know. I don't know if there's any STC news. What's interesting, okay? Let me show you something. On Twitter. I saw it today. This is it. SLF perps in less than 30 minutes. No. Oh shit, what is this? One second. What does that mean? Nothing. No, I wanted to show you something. This is it, look. Oh no, that's not it either. Let me find it because it's quite interesting. Look at this. I don't know if that's got something to do with the news announcement. Slurf. Guys, I effed up. I burned the LPN tokens that were set aside for the airdrop. Mint authority is already revoked, so I cannot mint them. There's nothing I can do to fix this. I think he lost $10 million worth for an airdrop. Slurf, that's it. %100% in LP and separation, no team tokens. This is probably the one to buy right now. This is the new meme. Slurf. Slurf Solana. It's on BitGet. Let's have a look. There you go. This is the one to buy. Slurf. Does anyone have BitGet? Just launched 3 hours ago. Do I have BitGet? Is it worth putting a little bit of money on that? I have got BitGet. I'm going to have to send some money to it. Never invest in a meme. This could be a big one, huh? Slurf. It's at 50 cents right now. It's worth a gamble, no? It's a gamble, really. All right. I think the stream is going to be over now. Thanks for joining me, guys. Appreciate it. And I'll see you tomorrow. Maybe get some surf, like $100 just for fun. No? See what happens. You never know, huh? Like, it's just launched. This is it. Slurf Sol. Solana meme coin. Slurf. Let's do it. Let's buy some Slurf quickly now. It's gonna be in Binance in 3 minutes. I need to send the money over quickly. I'm gonna do it now. If I can do it in time before it pumps. How much should I put in? $1,000? Let's do it. Buy $1,000 of Slurf. Right. This is a complicated process. I've got to buy it on Bybit, then I have to send it to BitGet. I'll do it now. $50 max. You're not going to make money with $50. You need to just go for it. Just live a little. If I can get it in time. Okay, that's done. And now I'm going to send my money to BitGet. Where's BitGet? Shit. Bye, guys. Good evening. Good morning or good day. I'll see you later.